All right, let's get to the Cavaliers here. We haven't talked a lot about them lately, but there was recently who put out this report? Bleacher Report put out their top 30
in 2030.
Who the top 30 players are going to be
in 30
in 2030?
Yes,
which is interesting.
It is
because it seems like
it's a fun little concept.
It's not that long enough from now, but long enough that things will change. Certainly,
it's 3.5, 4 seasons, depending on how you want to gauge it.
So they came up with who the top 30 players are going to be. I assume at the start of the 30-31 season, or I guess it could be the end of the 29-30.
They didn't clarify. That's why.
True.
So but it's projecting a few years down the road who will be the faces, who will be the best players in the league.
I wonder if they've included, and I'm assuming some guys that are in college or maybe even high school right now.
They have rookies. They had no one in college yet.
Okay.
So there are rookies who have not played an NBA game.
I mean, that's the thing. There's going to be guys that are actually the top 30 and 30
that are in high school right now.
Aren't even in the league right now.
Yeah, they might even be.
So none of those guys are included. Okay. But it does include rookies like Devanza,
guys who will be rookies this year, and then obviously current players.
Yes.
Okay, Anthony, let's see it. Number 1, Victor Wembanyama.
That was close.
Luka.
Horrible.
SGA. What was that?
You pronounced Wembanyama's name very, very wrong.
I did.
My
bad.
That's okay.
No, it's not.
If Mike can find someone else pronouncing something terribly,
he should. Call me out every time. Jokic is 4. Anthony Edwards 5. Cooper Flag 6. Wow.
I'm most surprised by Jokic.
Jokic should not be.
Well, how old is Jokic right now?
He's 31.
So he'll be 35. Will he still be the 4th best player? Was LeBron still the 4th best player at 35?
He was a lot closer, but I don't think Jokic's body ages the same way.
That's fair.
That others will, and he may not even. He may want to ride horses and race horses.
5 would have been 2000. Would have been like LeBron's first year in LA.
Was he still a top 5 player?
Yeah, he was. That was right after leaving Cleveland. Yeah, he was a top 5 player.
Okay, so it's possible, but he's as great as Jokic is, he's not LeBron.
He's the one that I don't feel that good about on this list.
Second year in LA.
How old will Doncic be?
He's 26. He'll be 31.
Okay.
Yeah, or 32.
Can't you see him going downhill in a hurry?
That's why the Mavericks traded him.
I could also see him being the Jokic now, where his physicality, speed, size is overwhelmed with talent.
Edwards, Flag. All right, let's see the next
Jokic
group.
is the only one on there that I would question.
Cade Cunningham, Cameron Boozer. He's that good?
They have 3 rookies from this class. The top 3 picks are all on this slate. 8, 11, and 12 are all rookies. LaMelo Ball should not be number 10.
Yeah, that's
big issue with LaMelo there.
Tyrese Maxey's that good, huh?
Yes.
You think Cameron Boozer has a chance to be a top 10 player in 4 years?
I get why they're projecting in there.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be that good.
Do you see any of those guys being top 10 players?
I like the other 2 more than I like Boozer.
I think Peterson could be for sure.
Yeah, so could Devanza. And Boozer's really good too, but you're putting a lot of projection into how good they think these guys are as prospects.
Right.
Let's see.
We've never seen them play an actual game, but of these 3 that have actually played, Maxey, Cunningham, Melo, I don't think LaMelo will be a top 30 player in 2030.
Not even top 30. So you think Bleacher Report's way off?
I think they're way off on him, yes.
Okay.
He can't stay healthy. Last year was the first healthy year he's ever had.
And how old is he?
He's not. I mean, he was in the 20.
Mid to late 20s, I would guess.
Okay.
Yeah, late 20s.
Yeah. Let's see the next 6 there. Scotty Barnes, Giannis. Now, Giannis.
That's surprising.
That's an age thing.
Yeah.
I'm higher on
Harper. But I was thinking Giannis won't even be on the list at all in another 4 years.
Yeah, I would drop him down. I like Harper more than I like some of the other guys on the list.
Yeah.
Tatum, such a crapshoot coming off the Achilles injury. And I think Jalen Johnson has a chance to be even higher than 18 when it's all said and done.
What's his injury?
Achilles.
He's coming off an Achilles.
Oh, it's Achilles.
He hasn't come back. Him and Tatum both tore their Achilles in the same playoffs.
All right. Let's see what's next.
We got our Cav, Evan Mobley on the list here.
Yeah, Mobley.
Behind Denny Advia, Chet Holmgren, Amen Thompson, Şengün.
What do you think about where Mobley is at 23?
I like him over some guys that are ahead of him currently, and I like some guys that are below him that we'll get to in a sec.
So he's probably right.
I think he's in that 18 to 23-ish range. You can make an argument.
Jalen Brunson.
Will that be enough in 2030 to get the Cavs over the hump?
No.
If your best player is a top 30 guy, because spoiler alert, and show him 25 through 30, there's no other Cavs on the list.
Yeah, who would be?
He's the only guy they have.
Who else could possibly be on there?
Nobody. I mean, maybe if you think Donovan.
He's not even a top
3 years,
player in 4 years.
The only one that I could even venture to possibly try and make a case for would be Jalen, but he's not in the category of these guys.
So if Evan Mobley.
Jalen Tyson?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
If Evan Mobley is between 18 and 23 in 2030, the Cavs have any chance.
But this isn't a surprise because this is a team built to win right now, not to win 4 years from now.
I don't think anyone's saying
right,
it's
but
a
the
surprise.
only hope that they I don't know that they're built to win right now. They're hoping they're built to win right now.
They're trying to win.
And the only hope of them building or winning now is if Evan Mobley becomes an even better player than he is. So if he's 23rd 4 years from now, he didn't become –
no.
Because it's not like if he becomes a top 10 player next year, he's not going to drop to 23 in 3 years.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they're saying they don't think he's going to ever be.
I think they're saying they think he is what he is.
Yeah.
Which is
probably true, which is a really
very
good player, but not a star.
I actually think they did a pretty good job over. We could argue the rookies who haven't played yet. We could say this guy may be too high. Giannis, if he stays healthy, obviously probably in the right spot. He gets hurt. I think they did a pretty good job. When I was looking at it, my big thought was just, if this is who Evan is, and that's what Bleacher Report thinks, I tend
it's just one opinion. I mean, who even made this list?
I tend to, and I tend to agree. Like, in
is Donovan
3 years,
did they do others receiving votes or anything like that?
I mean, when you put 30 names at that point, you just.
I mean, like, you think Donovan's in the top 50 still?
In 4 years? He's still under contract, so he better be in the top 50.
He's 30 or turning 30?
This will be his year 29 season, right? Or 30.
I mean, mid-30s is when guys go off the cliff. LeBron is just...
He's going to be 30 this year.
This year?
Born
so
in
it'll be 30. So it'll be 33-ish at that point?
Yeah, 33 to 34.
His body's got to hold up.
He should still be a top 50 player.
They're going to be paying him $70 million that season. Oof. So he better be.
Well,
he better be a top 50.
Somebody's going to be paying him $70 million.
Fair.
If they're paying Mobley and him, 150 between them or whatever.
It's 120.
Well, it could be more, right?
Mobley's under contract.
They're both
under contract.
Aren't there adjustments if they win awards or things like that?
That's
at that point, no.
That's coming off the rookie.
Okay, so 130. If Evan Mobley's the 23rd best player and Donovan's like 36th,
you're handcuffed.
Yeah,
and that was my big takeaway. Yeah. And I think Evan, could jump higher. Like, there is still room for him to grow. I just have kind of lost faith in him being able to do that in Cleveland, in the system of which they play, where they just don't utilize him in a way to maximize offensively what he can do. And if your goal is to win games, I don't think it's in their best interest to run their offense through Evan when you have James and Donovan. But if your goal is to develop Evan Mobley into the best version of Evan Mobley for the future, then you're taking away from your ability to win games right now. And they have to be able to walk that tightrope. You talked about the 2-timeline thing with the Browns yesterday. The Cavs, in a weird way, have been on a 2-timeline trajectory since they made the Donovan Mitchell trade, and now they are that razor-thin margin where you still have to get the most out of Mobley without taking away from what James and Donovan does to maximize Evan the player and your opportunity to win right away.